ಶ್ಲೋಕ ನಂಬರ್ 4 ತಿತಿಕ್ಷಯ ಕರುಣೆಯ ಮೈತ್ರಿ. ಗೋಪಿಜನ ವಲ್ಲಭ ಗಿರಿವರಧಾರಿ ಗೋಪಿಜನ ವಲ್ಲಭ ಗಿರಿವರಧಾರಿ ಯಶೋದಾನಂದನ ವ್ರಜಜನ ರಂಜನ ಯಶೋದಾನಂದನ ವ್ರಜಜನ ರಂಜನ ಯಶೋದಾನಂದನ ವ್ರಜಜನ ರಂಜನ ಯಮುನಾ ತೀರಾವನಚಾರಿ ಯಮುನಾ ತೀರಾವನಚಾರಿ जय ओम श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से हो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की समावेत भक्त वृंद की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Got it? Tikshaya, Tarunaya, Maitriya, Chakila Jantushu. Tikshaya, Tikshaya. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। This is 4.11.13. 4.11.13. Swayambhava Manu advises Dhruva. You all can repeat after me. Titikshaya Karunaya Maitriya Chakhila Jantushu Samatvena Cha Sarvatma Bhagavan Samprasidati. Titikshaya Karunaya Maitriya Chakhila Jantushu Samatvena Cha Sarvatma Bhagavan Samprasidati. Titikshaya Karunaya Maitriya Chakhila Jantushu Samatvena Cha Sarvatma Bhagavan Samprasidati. Titikshaya by tolerance, Karunaya by mercy, Maitriya by friendship, Cha also, Akhila universal, Jantushu unto the living entities, Samatvena by equilibrium, Cha also, Sarvatma the super soul, Bhagavan the personality of Godhead, Samprasidati become very satisfied, becomes very satisfied. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The Lord is very satisfied with His devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship and equality. Purport: it is the duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional perfection to act in accordance with this verse. There are 3 stages of devotional life. In the lowest stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple, and he worships the Lord with great devotion, according to rules and regulations. In the second stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent, and his relationship with persons who are envious. Sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious persons. It is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons whom he can elevate to devotional service. Everyone by constitutional position is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As far as devotee's treatment of other devotees who are his equals, he should maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part of the Supreme Lord. Different living entities appear in different forms of dress, but according to the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, the learned person sees all living entities equally. Such treatment by the devotee is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. It is therefore said that a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. These are some of the good qualities of a devotee. Hare Krishna. We welcome every one of you here this morning for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Within the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that anyone who attends the Bhagavatam class daily, their heart is sure to be purified very soon of all the contaminations, and they will become first-class devotees and go back home, back to Godhead. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada instituted this class every morning in all his temples. You all have heard one very famous statement: familiarity breeds contempt. What is the meaning of that? If you become familiar with somebody and come closer and closer, bitterness develops. On the contrary, when we go to somebody's place, some relative's place occasionally, then there is sweetness. But regularly you are in touch with somebody very closely, bitterness comes. So, one amazing phenomenon you will find in the relationship between Lakshmi and Narayan. You all have seen the picture of Lakshmi ji sitting at the lotus feet of Narayana in the Ananta Shesh and massaging the feet of Narayana, correct? So Lakshmi never gets bored with service to Narayana. Or she never thinks that let me do something else other than service to Narayana. And there is no bitterness developed between Narayana and Lakshmi. Not only that, as Lakshmi continues serving Narayana's feet, she gets newer and newer experiences and joyful memories of her husband Narayana. So, this can be seriously considered by all of us this morning in our lives. For example, before a man and woman comes together in marriage time, there is a lot of dreams that both of them have about each other. The husband is thinking, oh, she is so beautiful and she will be submissive to me and she will cook nice foods for me and she will take very good care of me and I can enjoy. Now I am going to get married, and he calls all his friends for the marriage and in a very happy mood. Similarly, the girl also is thinking, oh, he has a very big job, he's earning a lot of money, he'll give me a big car, he'll give me children, and he'll give me nice costly sarees to wear and costly ornaments to wear, and I will go in the big car with him and he will give me a nice bungalow to live. He comes from a good family, he's a man of good character, he'll be very gentle in speech to me, he'll be very kind to me, and in this way, I will live life like a queen, like that she thinks. So both of them have dreams from each other. Both have dreams. But then when they come near, after the marriage is over, initially there is sweetness. Just like chewing gum you have seen. When you buy a new chewing gum, smell is also very good, taste is also very good. But after some time, within 15-20 minutes, the flavor goes away. There is no more taste. And chava chava chava, it becomes tasteless after that. Similarly, what to speak of the relationship becoming tasteless, the relationship turns into one of quarrel. There can be misunderstanding and quarrel. You said this, I said that, you didn't understand, I didn't understand. And there can be a Rudra Tandav. There can be a Bhadrakali Tandav or Rudra Tandav or whatever Tandav can happen. Why is that so? So today we are going to learn this very important lesson today. How in our relationships, either at home or in the office or in our friends' social circle, how can we consider having a relationship like Lord Narayana with Lakshmi? That means there must be some secret, is it not true? Otherwise, how is Narayana able to be so charming and so attractive to Lakshmi that she is constantly massaging his feet, she never wants to go away, she doesn't want to do some other service, she wants only this service only. She is mad after him. In fact, Lakshmi ji tells other companions that actually, if you read the Samudra Manthan Leela, there Lakshmi was looking for she had a garland in her hand and looking for a husband who will be suitable for her. And she says, every man in this world has some defect. Durvasa Muni is very austere, but is a very angry man, she says. Ravana keeps his wives very well, but he is a lusty rogue. I mean, he doesn't follow the dharma, like that. Indra is very handsome, but he is frightened by the demons. When demons come to attack in Indraloka, he runs away. So, how can a woman marry a fellow who is frightened always? Like that she says. She says, Shukracharya is very knowledgeable, very intelligent, but for the sake of ensuring his remuneration from Bali, he told Bali to speak a lie to the Supreme Lord. He was telling Bali not to give the charity to Supreme Lord. So she said that every fellow has some defect or deficiency. At last she said, there is only one person in this world who is free from defect. Who is it? Lord Narayana. And then she said, no, even he has a defect also, she said. What is the defect? She said, because he is not after me. I am only after him, she said. But she observed that Narayana was having a beautiful garland already, and in his garland there were bumblebees humming. And they were all around that Narayana. And she saw that Narayana is not rejecting the bumblebees. He is accepting them. Similarly, the Ashtasiddhis, Anima, Mahima, Lagima, Prapti, Ishita, Vasheta, Kama, Vasheta, all those Ashtasiddhis, they were all hovering around Narayana. Narayana did not shout and tell them, you get lost, he didn't tell them. That means whoever goes to take shelter of Narayana, he will not reject. But Narayana will not hanker after anyone or anything. That she understood. Then she said, then because they are all taking shelter of Narayana, I will also go and take shelter. So when she took shelter of Narayana, she offered that garland to him and offered namaskar to him at his lotus feet. At that time, Lord Narayana accepted her service and gave her a place in the chest called Srivatsa. Srivatsa in her golden hair. That's a place he gave for Lakshmi. So Lakshmi wanted to serve, but she got a place in Narayana's chest. So Narayana is telling Lakshmi, relax, relax. Lakshmi is saying, no, I will serve, I will serve. And Srila Prabhupada said, husband, wife should be like this. He said. And wife should say, I will cook this for you, I will cook that for you, I will clean the house, I will wash the house, I will wash your clothes, I will. The husband should say, no, relax, relax. I will do it for you. Then the relationship is a sweet relationship. Correct, no? Husband is saying, I am your husband. I am superior to you. Serve me. Wife says, why should I serve you? You wash your clothes, I will wash my clothes. And I will only cook if you cut sabji. like their wife says, correct now? So Prabhupada said that is, then the sweetness is gone, correct now? So, how Narayana is able to charm the heart of Lakshmi like this? For that, if you study the Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find that Lord Narayana has certain amazing qualities which are not found in this world very easily amongst the people. Those qualities are the ones, he is an ocean of qualities, it is said. Not just drops, ocean of good qualities. And not only that, this ocean never reduces. It is like vast ocean of qualities. See, in this world, all of us, when we are small, beautiful babies, we look very attractive. When we grow up, then to youth, to boyhood, to youth, and then gradually our beauty fades away. When we get older, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, like that. Similarly, strength also. When you go from childhood, you are very weak. But then you get to boy, you become a man, you have a lot of strength. But as you go to old age, 60, 70, 80, 90, strength also diminishes. So in this world, things go up and they diminish. Our eating prasadam plate also, from childhood to boyhood to youth, it increases. Beyond 40, 50, it decreases. So in this world, things go to a peak and come to, it reduces like this. Whereas you will find Lord Narayana, in him, nothing diminishes. Everything is permanent in him. And everything, either permanent or expanding. And they never diminish. And they are oceanic in proportion also. So, Sripad Ramanujacharya, in his Gadyatrayam, one of the Gadyam is Sriranga Gadyam. In that he says, Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Shakti, Teja. Like that he explains first about 6 qualities he explains. He says in Jnana, his knowledge is so much that in millions of universes, he has millions of living entities. He knows name of each of them. He knows the karmic account of each of those jivas. Personally, very much in detail, he knows it. And because he also expands himself and accompanies them as super soul. He knows about every one of them. That is his jnana. His unfathomable knowledge. And jnana. And his bala, his strength, he lifts the Govardhan hill, he lifts the Mandara hill. His strength is immeasurable strength. When all the devatas and asuras couldn't lift the Mandara hill, he picked it up personally and carried it. In the same manner, his Shakti is also enormous Shakti. He creates millions of universes. And not only creates them, he maintains them also. And destroys them. Again he creates, maintains, destroys. Bhutva praliyate. Just like this chatai, night we open it and we lie down. Morning we roll it. Like that he creates universes, maintains, and then rolls it all back. So much Shakti he has. And Virya means, he can go to any place, even an impure place, but he will not get contaminated. Rather, he will remove the contamination in that place. Just like the sun absorbs urine. But the sun doesn't get contaminated. In fact, that place also becomes purified, disinfected. Sun also remains pure. That's Lord's nature. For example, Lord Rama and Lakshman, they were taken by Vishwamitra Muni to Mithilapuri. In the frontiers of Mithila, there was a place where Vishwamitra told Ram that, please come to this spot. As soon as Ram went to the spot and put his foot on a stone, immediately that turned into Ahilya. Because Ahilya had a curse to be a stone for a certain period of time. And then she turned into her original form. So Lord Rama's dust is so holy and pavitra that immediately, Ahilya came out. And from his feet only comes the Ganga. When the Viraja water outside the universe, comes into the universe, when the shell is cracked by Vamana Deva as Trivikrama, that time it comes and washes the feet of the Supreme God and then comes down to the Brahma Loka. And Brahma is seeing that water. That is called Ganga. So immediately Brahma is worshipping the lotus feet of Vamandev that time. And that water came to, the Akasha Ganga, it came to the heavenly planets. Later on by Bhagirath Prayatnam, it came to the earth. And that Ganga, it is actually the sanctified waters which has washed the Lord's lotus feet. It is so pavitra. And that water is even now purifying so many living beings of their sinful reactions. You can see that. So wherever Lord puts the feet, that place becomes purified, sanctified, becomes very holy. So that is his virya. Yeah. And teja also means influence, prabhav. His lustre, his exaltedness, and his influence. All these things. His influence is so powerful. Just like one sun is in the sky. Prabhupada says, Prabhupada says, the sun in the sky, you are here, you go to the marketplace, wherever you go, the sun will be above the head. For about 5,000 miles, Prabhupada says, wherever you go, sun will appear to be above your head. Like that, sun's influence on you is there everywhere you go. Similarly, God's influence is there wherever you go. There is no place where it is not there. So these are all his great qualities. Then there are sweet qualities. Like for example, any woman in this world is going to marry a man, naturally she will think about what is his opulence. So Lord has how many opulences? 6 opulences. He is the most beautiful, he is the most knowledgeable, he is the most wealthy, he is the most rich, most renounced and most strong. Most strong and most renounced. So sometimes in this world it is seen that one person has one quality but he doesn't have the other. There are some bodybuilders who have hefty body but they have no money in their pocket. So nobody will want to marry them. What is the use of a strong body if we cannot maintain a woman? Somebody is a man who has a lot of money in his pocket but he has no good character. He is running after multiple women like Ravana. Then what is the use? He lacks character, isn't it? Or somebody has a lot of money but he has no beauty. He is not handsome. In this world you will find there is one quality in somebody and the other quality is missing like that. Whereas Lord Narayana has all the 6 qualities. That too in vast proportions. So therefore, in this world, even if somebody has something, like in cinema, actors and actresses look very beautiful, but they are compared to a glowworm. Why? Because the glowworm can only show light in the night. In the morning when the sun rises, where is the power of the glowworm? It has no power. Similarly, these people show their beauty for a short while. When they get old, nobody will want to see them afterwards. Whereas Krishna or Vishnu's beauty is everlasting. So, now in relation to devotees, how the Lord deals, that is the main subject matter here. Why? Because of which Lakshmi never gets tired of Narayana and never want to give up his service to him. Lakshmi never... so I will tell you a few qualities. One time, at the door of Vaikuntha, 4 Kumaras came, 4 Satish Kumaras. So, they had heard from their father Brahma that Lord Vishnu is very, very beautiful and this is how he looks like. He has 4-handed form, his body is bluish, he wears a mukut and kundal, his eyes are like lotus petals, he is like a blue sapphire. It's very, very charming to look at. But when they were born, they heard it, but they didn't become Vishnu's devotees. They became impersonless, because they also heard about Brahman. But after they became impersonless, once they were roaming in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, at that time they came across the beautiful Vaikuntha doors. So they entered the 7 doors. So when they entered, in the 7th door, Jai Vijay was standing. So they were stopped in the 7th door. They were not allowed to go in. Because Jai Vijay thought that impersonalists have no entry into spiritual world. We are supposed to not allow to see our master. Only bhaktas are allowed inside. So at that time, there was an altercation between the two. So the 4 Kumaras looked at Jai Vijay. They saw Jai Vijay's nose had become stout nose, bloodshot eyes, and they stopped with their mace in their hands. So when Kumara saw, they understood these fellows are angry on us. So then they also became angry. And they cursed them and told them that since you are Vishnu's servants, but your behavior is not matching Vishnu's behavior. So you go to Bhuloka. where in 3 lifetimes you will become asuras and you will learn a lesson and come back here. Because Bhuloka is a place where there is Kama, Krodha, Lobha and all that. So you go there, live in the midst of that and get purified and then learn the sadachar, good behavior, and then come back to Vaikuntha. Like that they cause. Hearing that, the Kumaras immediately fell at their, the Jai Vijay fell at their feet and clasped their feet to their chest and cried tears and said, "Oh sirs, we accept your curse. We don't want to escape it. But we have one request to you. When we go to Bhuloka, even for one moment, let us not forget Lord Narayana. That's our only request," they said. So seeing this, Kumara started crying tears. They said, "Alas, we have cursed Lord Vishnu's devotees. They have such exalted souls. Just because they appeared a little angry, we cursed them. Their heart is so pure. Other than Lord Narayana's service, they don't want anything else." So they became softened. Because in both their hearts, humility arose. At that time, Lord Narayana arrived. So Lord Narayana arrived at the door, thinking that at the door of Vaikuntha, there is some quarrel going on. At the door of Vaikuntha, there is an angry exchange, which is not at all befitting Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha doesn't deserve such kinds of heated exchange. In Vaikuntha, everyone is respectful to one another. Everybody thinks, I am servant, others are my master. And everybody is in the mood of doing seva. How much seva? Little or more. They want unlimited service to do. And how much service they want to take from others? No service from others. They want to give service but not take service. They want to give respect but they don't want to receive any respect. They honor everyone and they praise others' service but they don't like to be praised. If somebody praises them, they say, "Oh, no, I am insignificant," they will say. But others' service they will praise. That type of nature people have. And also, everyone will do service according to their capacity. Squirrel can do little service, Hanuman can do big service. But whatever capacity they have, they will put the fullest capacity in rendering service. And therefore, nobody will criticize anybody. Because everybody knows that everybody is rendering seva according to their capacity. And all the devotees in Vaikuntha are engaged in different type of service because they are differently talented. Multiple talents. Somebody, like in our temples, Matajis make garland, Pujari does Pujari service, preachers do preaching, cooks will do cooking, sweepers will do sweeping. Because everybody will do different service, what they are talented in. So nobody will criticize another service. They will say that all the services are needed for Lord Narayana. Everybody is appreciative of other service. Nobody will say that my service is best service. Nobody will say like that. They will appreciate everybody else's service also. So this is actually the nature of Vaikuntha. And how did these people learn these good qualities in Vaikuntha? From Narayana. So from Lord Narayana, his perception is like that. Therefore, if one can understand how he sees things and one emulates that role model, then one will behave exactly like the Lord, and therefore the Vaikuntha atmosphere is established by that. So now, when there was a heated exchange at the door, Lord Narayana came, and he didn't come alone. He came with Lakshmi also by his side, and servants were lifting the umbrella above his head. And when Lord Narayana walked up to the door, he looked so beautiful. Kumaras for the first time saw Lord Narayana along with the goddess of fortune Lakshmi. So they had heard about Lakshmi Narayan. Now they are seeing eye to eye. Lord was wearing Pitambar, Chaturabhuja Rup, Shankha Chakra, Gada Padma, Mukut, Kasturi Tilakam and all that. They saw and they were so charmed. At the time, the Tulasi leaf in the lotus feet of Narayana, carrying the wind, it entered the nostrils of Kumaras. And they at once became pure devotees. But that's a very long pastime, but I am only going to take one point from there. When Lord Narayana came, both the parties were worried. Jai Vijay were worried that unnecessarily we quarrel with these people and our master has come. we have disturbed our master. They felt sorry. And Kumaras, they were also worried that we have already spelled out a curse. I think Lord Narayana is going to punish us, they thought. Now when Narayana came, he looked at the Kumaras and he smiled. So Kumaras became peaceful. Okay, even after our curse, Narayana didn't feel bad. He is smiling at us. Then Jaya Vijay immediately thought, because Lord is smiling at them, we are the offenders and they are the offended, they thought. But then Narayana turned to Jaya Vijay and smiled at them also. So now they were confused. Now who is he happy with? Who is he angry with? They couldn't assess. So later on when Lord Narayana speaks very mystical speech, you will see in Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayana told the Kumaras that you people punished my two servants, Jai Vijay. You did it very well. If you didn't do it, I would have given them punishment. Anyway, instead of me giving, you only gave. That's very good only. Yeah, he said. And then he said, you punished my two servants. The word my. Who heard this word? So Lord is not rejecting us as his servants. He's still saying that we are his servants. So they were already happy. And also one of the expressions of love is to punish also and chastise also. Lord is saying that he would have punished us. To be punished by the Lord is the most wonderful thing for us. He is our master. They thought like that. And then Lord told Kumaras that you have come as a special guest and they should have received you properly. Actually, when a Brahmana comes, even if a Brahmana is hurling sharp speech at somebody, the other person, what he should do? He should have a love-laden face, with a smiling face, with the tears welling up in the eyes, with folded palms. One should receive the chastisement of a Brahmana as if it is nectar, as if one is receiving good instructions. And that's the way Jai Vijay should have behaved with you people, because you are representing ultimately Lord. So Kumaras became very happy that he is actually praising the Brahmanas. And then he told the Kumaras that if a servant commits a mistake, then the master is responsible. So if you wish, I am ready to lop off my arms, 2 arms, for that sake, he said. So of course Kumaras never wanted that. But what is the meaning of that? These two fellows, Jai Vijay, are like my right hand and left hand. And by you guys cursing, you are actually lopping off my arms. That's the internal meaning, very secret meaning. The Lord spoke. And Jai Vijay also felt very much wanted by the Lord, because Lord is calling them as like a right hand and left hand, like that. So he spoke in such an endearing way, both the parties became not only pacified, their hearts were thrilled with devotional feeling for Narayana. And actually this is the way of behavior of Supreme Lord in this occasion. And after Kumaras were gone, Lord told Jai Vijay, actually I had a desire that you go to Bhuloka, where I will also come and we will experience the Virya Rasa in fighting experience. Therefore I arranged this pastime. Don't worry, there's nothing to worry. Like that he pacified them. So this is not the only occasion where Lord Narayana behaved in such a noble, that in that verse purport, Prabhupada writes, Krishna prasada sumukam spragani yadaham premavaloka kalaya hridi samsprishantam. See, hridi means heart, samsprishantam means touching. Lord's smile was touching the heart of both parties. And prema avaloka means drishti, with the eyes. Lord looked at both parties with love-laden glance. Prema avaloka kalaya means expanding smile. His smile was gradually expanding, just like a bud blossoming into a full-blown flower. Like the Lord was smiling. He looked at them lovingly and smiled very gracefully and spoke very sweetly. Krishna prasada sumukham sprahaniyadam. So his face is an abode of love. So this is not the only occasion where he behaved like this. There are innumerable occasions. You will see when Bhrigu wanted to test who is the Supreme, you all know, he kicked in the chest of Narayana. He actually gave a verbal abuse to Shiva and a mental abuse to Brahma. Whereas when he was dealing with Vishnu, he abused him by kicking him physically. Imagine if somebody in mind didn't respect you, it's not a serious thing. Or verbally somebody spoke something, you may be hurt. But somebody kicked on your chest, is it not a very serious thing? Correct, no? So, and you know how Lord Vishnu responded. Lord Vishnu immediately got off from the snake bed and massaged the feet of Bhrigu and said, your feet must be paining, my heart is hard like a stone, let me massage it. You have sanctified my heart, Lakshmi will be happy to reside here, and all that he spoke. Bhrigu actually cried tears. So this goes to show the humility and tolerance of Lord Narayana. That's what it goes to show. So also, in Ramayana, there is one statement which says, Katanchit upakarena ekena tushyati. It says, if somebody has done in his life only one service to Lord Ram, that service also, very little service. And that too occasionally done, only once in a lifetime done, and not intended to serve Rama. But he did for something and it happened to become service of Ram. It happens like that sometimes. But even such a service, Lord Ram will not forget it at any time. He will remember it for all time. Just like once when Draupadi gave some fruits to Krishna in a plate along with a knife, when Krishna cut the fruits, the knife cut his finger a little bit. Seeing that blood, immediately Draupadi took her. At that time they were in Indraprastha now. They were living in a very good palace, nice, costly silk saree she was wearing. She took the end of the saree and then she tore it. And she gave a strip of cloth for Krishna to tie. So at that time Krishna told her that you have served me, now I have to reciprocate with you. And how much he reciprocated we know. For one strip of cloth he gave how much saree? Isn't? Therefore it is said we give Krishna with 2 hands and Krishna gives with thousands of hands. Vishwarupa has how many hands? Sahasra Shirsha, Sapurusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat. Sabum is, so he has Sahasrapani, thousands of hands with which he can give back. Then he wishes to give. That means, when somebody gives little, he gives a lot back. Sudama gave little chipped rice, but Krishna gave a lot back to him. He gave a big house and he gave, hundreds of servants and servant maids. So this is one of his nature also. He takes little and gives a lot. Generally, business people, what they do? They take a lot of money from you and give you little. Correct, no? They will say that, oh, this is 1,000 rupees Kamal, I am giving you an 800. But if you actually see, it will be 200. You'll find like that. So generally in this world, people grab a lot from you and give you a little, whereas Lord takes a little and gives you a lot. That is his nature. So in this way, we have to study the nature of the Lord. In each situation, how he behaves. He takes it. So this is the nature which also comes in the devotees because of associating with the Lord. Lord has so many Kalyana Gunams. You associate with him little by studying the Shastra, then we will also capture some of those qualities. So now, although Lord Rama has an ability to remember, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna also, if you did some good for him, little bit also, he will be very grateful to you and he will never forget it for a long time to come. And on the other hand, his devotees commit some mistakes while rendering service, but he will ignore it. Because he knows very well that his devotees are trying to do seva to me. Like once some Western devotees had come to India. First time they came and they were eating prasadam. After prasad, they were wiping their hand with a tissue paper in somebody's house. Somebody was criticizing, hey, look at these guys. Shame, puppy shame. They don't know. You are supposed to wash your hand and wash your mouth. So this is certainly a fault, but it is not that serious a fault. It's a small fault. So Prabhupada quoted the verse, Apiche Sudara Acharo Bhajate Mam Ananyabha. He said, okay, these devotees are learning the Sadachar now, how to wear dhoti kurta, how to wear tilak, how to conduct themselves clean. Somebody told in India, Swamiji, your Western devotees, their pronunciation of the Sanskrit shlokas is not very good. They said, Prabhupada said, but the renunciation is great, Prabhupada said, isn't it? See, they have given up their country, they have come to India, they are living in an equatorial country here, hot summer season. American ladies are wearing saris. American men are wearing dhoti kurtas and they are sweeping the floor in Vrindavan. See the renunciation. What is your renunciation? You are not able to chant one round also. Hare Krishna. And you are criticizing that. So, the pronunciation may not be so great. They may be speaking English and they may not be able to pronounce so well. So, in this way, Prabhupada taught the Indians to see the brighter side of the Americans who came to India. Correct? No? Because in the same manner, Lord is able to appreciate the tiny service done to him, he is grateful. And a mistake committed, Lord oversees. He will overlook it. Okay, this devotee is trying to render some seva. We also commit so many mistakes when we are rendering service, isn't it? Yeah. So, in that Gadyatrayam, there are a dozen qualities given. Beginning with Saushilya, Mardava, Ardava, Karunya, Vatsalya, and Chaturya, Madhurya, Gambhirya, Sthairya. Like that there are 12 qualities are given. I will not explain them because that will finish the whole class if I do that. But you can read about them. So one or two we can talk about. Like Saushilya means Lord becomes very friendly. He is a great personality, but he becomes friendly with even simple people like Lord Rama becomes friend of Nishadas like Guha. He becomes friend of Vanaras like Sugriva. He becomes friend of Rakshasas like Vibhishan. Yeah. But Lord Rama is coming down to that level and becoming friendly. Generally, big people of prestige, they will not come down. But similarly, Krishna you will find, when Sudama comes, he comes running to embrace him and take him. And Krishna makes friendship even with monkeys and all. Monkeys and peacocks and cows and calves and deers. Kaushilyata we call it. So when a great person is friendly with a small person, then the small person's respect and affection for the great person increases by that, by the Saushilya quality. So like this, there are many qualities given. How, like for example, Prabhupada writes, the Supreme Lord likes to become subordinate to his devotees and be ordered by his devotees out of his transcendental, loving and sweet relationship. Like for example, Prabhupada says, Krishna is nobody's charioteer. In fact, he is the master of everybody. But he becomes a charioteer of Arjuna. And he likes to be ordered by Arjuna. Senayor bhyor madhye ratam stapayane. Arjuna is telling, take my chariot in between two armies. Krishna is following the order. And hearing Krishna. So Krishna likes to be ordered by his devotees. Generally, we all like to order others or like to be ordered by others. We like to order others. But Lord likes to be ordered by his devotees because he is in love with the devotees. Correct, no? Actually, even at home, you can see sometimes a father agrees to be defeated by a son, small boy. That is because of the love. And he wants to give the pleasure to the child that, yes, you are better than me. I am defeated. You are great. That feeling. Krishna gives the same feeling to his devotees. He puts devotees on a higher pedestal and he becomes subordinate. Because of which the devotees get sold out to Krishna completely. Devotee's heart wells up in love. He is a Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayak. And he is agreeing to, oblige to my request. So devotees also get sold out. Therefore, there is one verse in the 9th canto. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham madanyatte na jananti naham tebhyo manadapi. This is a verse which Lord Vishnu spoke to Durvasa, telling about Ambarish. My devotees reside in my heart and I reside in my devotees' heart. My devotees don't think of anything other than me And I don't think of anything other than my devotee. Like that he says. So this is the nature of Lord and the devotees. They are transcendently attached to each other, and they are in love with each other, and they are eager to serve each other. And they have no other expectation from each other other than love. You heard this? Dina Bandhu, Dina Nath, Mere Dori, Dere Hath. There's a song. My ropes of my life I hand over to you, Krishna. Like that, who gave the ropes? Arjuna gave the ropes of his life to Krishna. And Krishna also gives the ropes of his life to devotees as Jagannath. For Jagannath Balasubhadra, when you take them for a Ratha Yatra, their ropes are in whose hands? Devotees' hands. And devotees' life ropes are in whose hands? Krishna's hands. Therefore, they are in love with each other, Lord and the devotees. When we understand this highest thing in our life as the goal of life, then we can cultivate the qualities which Lord exhibits in oceanic proportion, we can cultivate in few drops of proportion. So I am going to come to the concluding part now, very important part. In our life, I will tell you one acronym, FAULT. What is it? Fault. Acronym for this. So each letter represents one particular word, and if you remember this, it will help in learning the similar type of behavior that the Lord exhibited. Yeah. You have any that you can write in that board? Yeah. Okay, F. Okay, all can repeat after me. F for focus. A for awareness. Yeah. U for uplift. No, you can go like this. Yeah. That's good. Okay, U for uplift. And L for leave it. And T for tolerate. So I'll tell you each of it little I'll tell you, and then we'll conclude, okay? Somebody can write it, you have a pen. Okay, first one I'll tell you, F for focus. So what do you focus on in people? You see the good or the bad? So if you ask, there are 6 things Sati is telling her father. In the Srimad Bhagavatam we read that. She's telling there is Mahat, Mahattara, Mahattama. There is Asadu, Asadutara, Asadutama. Atyasadutama. Totally 8 she is telling. So at least out of the 8, at least 6 we should know. See, okay, first I will tell Mahat, then we'll go to Asadu. Mahat means what? One who sees good and bad, and he points out bad with the desire to see the person improve. This is the meaning of Mahat. Mahat will point fingers. He will say that, see, this is faulty. And this is the right way of doing. If you do it, you will be free from faults. So with a good heart, he corrects. That is Mahat. Mahattara means, out of this good and bad, he sees only good. He ignores the bad. And Mahattama means he takes a small good and magnifies it very big. Like that. Like that he does. Just like, for example, okay, I will tell example. Mahat means one who, when you tell false. Say, for example, somebody says, see, you are chanting Hare Krishna, but the pronunciation you should do properly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. If you say, you are missing the last Hare Hare. Please kindly, Prabhu, take care, because this will become a habit for you in the next 10, 20 years. So please kindly chant well, it's good for you. So with a good heart, he says, he's a Mahat. Now, Mahattara means who? He will see only good. He will say, yesterday I was, like for example, he says, look at this life member. He comes He has never missed Janmashtami for the last 20 years. And every Janmashtami he comes and gives a donation. Such a good life member. Such a good donor. Like that he appreciates. Mahatara means, he sees only good. He doesn't see any fault in that person. Mahattama means, he takes a small good and he magnifies. Like for example, we say, yesterday I was coming in the train, the thief has stolen my wallet, but such a good thief, he never killed me. He had a big knife also. He spared my life, such a good thief, he says. That means even in a bad person, that is the fourth one, Ati Mahattama. Ati Mahattama means he sees good even in a bad person, that is Ati Mahattama. But Mahattama means what? He takes one small good and he magnifies. For example, the hippies, they were into all dirty things, drugs and meat eating and gambling and illicit sex, but they had only one good, they had inclination for music and they were agreeing to chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada took good that one small good and magnified it. Correct, no? So Mahattara, Mahattama, Ati Mahattama. Correct, no? Ati Mahattama. This is all Mahat side. And Asadu means what? He is one who he can see both good and bad, but he will point out which one? Bad. He will only point out bad. When he sees, like you tell Asadu, you send him to a garden and see, what did you see? Hey, your garden is full of thorny bushes, he will say. You ask him, but you didn't find roses? Yeah, roses were there, but it is very pricking thorns. What kind of, like that he will say. He can only see the bad side. He cannot see the roses at all. That is Asadu. Asadu Tara means what? If you tell him that, see, this fellow, this fellow has this good quality. If you show him like that, like for example, this fellow is coming every Janmashtami to the temple. He will say, what is so great about it? He doesn't come at other times. Only on Janmashtami day he comes. He's a seasonal devotee. Like that he will say. Or if you say that, hey, this devotee is dancing in Kirtan so happily. So he will say, hey, let us see how long this enthusiasm goes on. Like that he will say like that. That means even if he sees good quality, he will think that it will not last for a long time. He will think like that. And Asadu Tara, Asadu Tama means he will take a little fault and he will magnify it. See, this is a very famous one. For example, somebody comes to complain about somebody, they will tell a small complaint by making it big. You have experienced any of you? Why generally people make it very big? To have an impact. Yeah, to have an impact. Otherwise they think you will not believe. So they say a small thing, they make it very big and say, so-and-so said so many bad things about you, and they will say so much, but actually it may not be true many times. People exaggerate. Children have the habit of exaggerating sometimes. You've seen that? When they come and say also. That is asadutama. Atya asadutama is a person who is other extreme degree. So, in this way, there are 8 types of people that she is talking about. So, the first one is what? Focus means what? Focus on the good of the people. Because whatever you focus on, that will expand over a period of time. That doesn't mean you don't point faults. Pointing faults should be accompanied by a good substitute action. Like Kanishthadhikari means only point faults. He doesn't tell how to rectify. Madhyamadhikari means he will point fault and he will tell you how to rectify it. Like somebody, you show an apple and say, hey, look at this apple. There's a black hole, black spot in this. And he will say, sorry, Prabhu, I didn't know there's a black spot. Okay, bring the knife. You remove it. See, now it's gone now. So you remove that, then it is proper for eating. That means you show the fault and tell a way how to come out of it. So that is the ideal standard for devotees, especially Madhyamadhikari. And the Kanishthadhikari only points faults, which is not proper. So focus on the good of the people. Because if you focus on the good of the people, that will be enhanced. Yeah. So one American lady used to come to temple. They were She always used to come in a mini skirt, wearing American dress. So one day when she wore sari, Prabhupada appreciated her. So when Prabhupada brought many good things out of people by appreciating them. When you appreciate, then people repeat good behavior. Yeah. So Prabhupada appreciated whatever a person could do, whatever little service they could do, he appreciated. So appreciate means recognizing the good work done, and encourage means to see good potential in others. Both are important, encouragement and appreciation. So that is the meaning of focus. Focus on that. At the same time, Prabhupada also gave corrections, but his giving correction was for the purpose of improving them, making them better. Because they were very confident, they had trust in Prabhupada, that he is our well-wisher. What is the second one? Awareness. What is awareness? Awareness means whatever you focus on, you should know the consequences. If I focus on bad, the consequences will be very bad in the long run, if you only focus on bad. For example, if you keep on only pointing the faults alone for a prolonged period of time, like for example, the husband is telling the wife, today you cooked this has no salt, today you cooked this is not cooked well, today you cooked this sabji I don't like. He is giving only feedback to her, but he has never appreciated. When the prasadam is good, he will never say, oh, today is very delicious. Wow, today is very great. So he gives only. So one day this husband took his wife to one program. In their house they had made idlis, and idlis were very soft idlis. She told the host, I have never eaten idlis like this in my house. Such a soft idli like jasmine. It's so nice, so soft. So when they came back, next day morning, wife said, no breakfast today. She said, you only like other people's food. In our home, you don't like it. You eat out, she said. So, therefore, we should not only point out faults, we should, So, awareness means you should know the consequences of, focusing on the bad. Like, blotting paper. If you take an ink pen and keep it like this, what happens? It just spreads like this. So many mothers, fathers bring their son to me and say that, one parents was saying, Prabhuji, isko batao, isko bolo, like that they were saying, make him a devotee. I told them, now I understand why he is not a devotee. It's very easy for me to understand. If this is the way you treat, he is not going to be a devotee. I said, mostly youngsters become devotees by peer association. From their other friends they learn, not from the parents. They don't like to be very much controlled by the parents. So the awareness is that one has to know that what consequences will come. It is said that identify the spark and fan the spark, it is said. So Haridas Thakur saw one spark in the prostitute, that she has a desire to hear the holy name, and then she became a devotee. Prabhupada saw the hippies, they had a spark of interest in music and chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada fanned the spark and made it be a flagrant fire. So therefore we have to be aware of the effect of fanning the spark versus effect of focusing on the bad. We have to know that's awareness. One should not... actually what happens when you focus on the bad of a person, we gradually become absorbed in negative thoughts. And gradually our negativity surrounds our personality over a period of time. Like krodha sanskaras, dosha sanskaras will surround us. And then we will become addicted to fault finding. That is what we have to be aware of. It's a very dangerous thing it is. And then to come out of it, we have to forcefully give some compliments and practice. So we should not take this matter very lightly. We should be aware that like one devotee was telling me, he was going to one student center on Ekadashi day. At that time, his assistant was also going with him. His assistant said, Prabhuji, in the student center, they have Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Can we make some carrot halwa, to offer to the Lord? Generally in the temple I make it, but then today we are traveling now. Can I make that? And the devotee said, no, what is the need? You just go, let us take early rest, he said. But this devotee repeatedly requested, he allowed him. So he thought maybe he wants to eat, he thought. Therefore he wants to make carrot halwa. So the fellow went to the center, between 8 to 8:30 he made, and then he offered it to Jagannath Sundar and he served all the boys. And then the preacher asked him, what about you? You are not taking it. No, Prabhuji, I am doing Nirjala Ekadashi, I am not taking it. And the preacher was shocked. I judged this fellow. I judged him thinking that he want to cook because, why he want to cook? He want to eat. So how many of you feel that we judge people based on our observation? Correct? We judge people, no? Many times we judge people. Maybe this, maybe that. So many, judgments we make by observation. Like one fellow had a back pain. So he went to the senior brahmachari and said, Prabhu, I have a back pain. Doctor says 3 months I should not bend. And brahmachari said, you just do like this. Anybody offers obeisances, you do like this. Enough, you don't have to bend. So this fellow went back to student center and all the students were offering obeisances to him. So he was doing like this. So he was like shocked there, other people. They thought that nowadays he is very proud. He is not bowing down, they thought. And when brahmachari came, all of them offered obeisances, whereas this devotee was doing like this. Then these two boys went and complained, Prabhu, I think we should ask him to quit the center, because he is becoming more proud nowadays. Brahmachari said, very fool, he has a back pain problem in the spine. And then they felt very sorry. So they went and gave him some sweet and said, sorry, please take the sweet and make us free from aparadha. So you will find mostly many of us commit mistakes by our observation and judgmental behavior. That is, second one is awareness. Be aware that you may be judging wrongly. Our estimation may be wrong. Why a person is doing what he is doing, you cannot know. It's very difficult. You cannot judge people. What is the third one? Uplift. So, what is uplifting behavior? Whenever, you hear something bad about somebody, the first question you should ask is it true or false? First question. Is it true or it is not true? Say somebody is telling about fault of some devotee. Okay, let us assume that it is true. Next question you should ask is it good for me to hear it? Or is it good for that person if I hear it? Or it is bad? That's the second question you should ask. So, his fault, why should I hear? You can tell him that go and tell his counselor or his mentor. Because he has a spiritual guardian who will protect him. You go and tell him. You can tell him. So, and thirdly, you should ask, is it beneficial for all? Say, for example, you have come to know that somebody came to the temple to stay and he is stealing mobiles, for example. Somebody comes and tells you, Prabhuji has stolen 2 mobiles, he is telling. So, is it true or not? We found it is true. Is it good or bad to know it? Tell me. It's good to know it, correct, no? If you are not knowing it, then you will steal more, And then is it beneficial for all if this matter is taken to the authorities? Yes. Then you take it to authorities. Like this we should ask, is it true? Is it good? Is it beneficial? So if you take care of these 3 things, then you are actually doing something uplifting. In this world, there are 4 types of people in our life, who come in our life. One person's association is uplifting. Second person's association is not uplifting. That means they are always discouraging. Third type of person's association is neutral. And fourth type of people, they never connect with us. They are far away from us. We don't see them, they don't see us. General people. Correct, no? So fourth people, we don't care. And the third person also is neutral. But out of this 2, uplifting, non-uplifting, we should be very careful not to associate with not uplifting people or discouraging people. If people criticize us and discourage us, then we can't grow. Like you heard the story of the 2 frogs. 2 frogs fell into a well. All other frogs were surrounding and saying, Hare, you fool, you went into this deep well, you never can come out, you guys are fools. And both out of the 2 frogs, they were jumping like this. One frog jumped up so high that he came out of the well. And the other frog couldn't come. Why? Because the frog who came out, he said his ear was not hearing properly. Wax had grown inside because he couldn't hear. So what he didn't hear? Discouragement. Because he didn't hear discouragement, he could come out. The other frog heard it very well. So he could remain inside only, he couldn't come. Therefore, we should not associate with non-uplifting people. Somebody is discouraging very much, go far away from them. You have to be uplifted. Even if somebody is giving correction, that after you implement the correction, you should become a better person. Otherwise, useless. Correct, no? What is the use of a correction? If somebody says, you are black, you are not fair. If somebody says, can you change black to fair? Some people wrote fair and lovely. Am I all right now? No, still you look black only. Somebody says. There are things which you cannot change. And if people criticize you for this, somebody tells you are short. Can you put him in a UTM machine and elongate him? So those kinds of changes, those who tell you, those are useless. So they should give you feedback in which you can bring about a change. And if they criticize you for things which you cannot change, that means they are chronic critics. Then you cannot change at all. Then that is non-uplifting association. Is it clear now? So we need what association? Uplifting association. Okay. So this is the third one. What is it? Uplifting. Fourth one? Leave it to whom? Leave it to Super Soul. See, it's not that you have to rectify all the problems in all people's lives, in all the 8 billion people of the earth. We are not born for that. Is it possible for us to rectify faults in everybody? Therefore, even the people with whom we are living, you can actually leave it to Super Soul sometimes. Some work we have to keep for him also because he's standing in the heart of everybody by the side. So let him also rectify some. So my spiritual master once told me, when you see some fault, sometimes you give 1 or 2 chances for them to rectify it on their own. When they don't rectify, then you point out. Correct? First time you wait and watch. So leave some work to the Super Soul also. And leave some work to the individual soul, leave some work to the Super Soul. Super Soul is guiding him. He is the guardian immediately. And the last one? T is tolerate, Yeah, we all have to tolerate because people are tolerating us also. So we have to tolerate others also. Correct, no? Yeah. Like for example, somebody is sleeping and snoring. So, actually, you may be sleeping in the same room and you may feel, how dare this fellow is making noise. You give him a tight slap. He will jump up from his bed. He will say, Prabhuji, I don't know, I am snoring. He is innocent many times. In this way, in this world, you will find living entities are all giving trouble to each other, sometimes not even knowing also. For example, when some 10 devotees are sleeping in a dormitory, all the fans are off in cold season. One fellow has a sweating body, even in cold season. So he puts on the fan. Fan starts rotating. Then all the fellows in that area will jump up. They don't want fan. Correct, no? Similarly, sometimes a fellow keeps alarm clock at 3 o'clock in the morning. He went to sleep at 9, but he couldn't get sleep till 11. So now 11 to 3, how many hours? 4 hours only he got. So he is not getting up. But alarm clock, making sound. Who is disturbed? Everybody except him. He is still sleeping. So the material world is filled with people who are disturbing each other. So not only we may think that I am tolerating that fellow who is like this, he is also tolerating us. This we all have to see in our lives. We have something called idiosyncrasies, we call it. Idiosyncrasy means we have unique types of behavior which we all have, psychological behavior, which others are tolerating. And we are tolerating that, and we have to tolerate others. It's like give and take. Others do good also for us, which we take. They will do certain things. Like for example, you are working with a person who is forgetful. You have to tell him three times. There are people like that, correct? But he may be a good person, he may be a soft person, well-behaved person. There are people like that. Then there are people who will misplace money. Then there are people who will lavishly use things. Like for example, he'll put the light, fan, everything on, and he'll never switch off. People ask, who is paying for like your father is paying, people ask, like that. So these are all bad habits, small bad habits people have. But we can point them out and tell them to rectify it, but we also may have other bad habits. Yeah. Like for example, you may say that, hey, you left the light on for the last 2 hours. You yell at him. That yelling may hurt him. He may say that I only put the light on, but you are yelling me in such a manner that I am broken down. Correct? No? So, therefore, everybody in this world should know that who is tolerating whom? Everybody is tolerating each other. That's the last one. So, what is F for? Focus. A for? Awareness. Awareness of actually awareness of what are the consequences of finding fault. It is very contagious. It is also very absorbing. So that is awareness. Third one? Uplifting association. Look for uplifting. And L for? Leave it to whom? Super soul. T for? Knowledge. Yeah. So if we can do this is actually a good beginning for us to aim at developing good qualities in life. Then we can focus on many other good qualities. Lord Narayana is exhibiting, I told you. Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Narayana, they are exhibiting. So then our relationships will not be bitter, they will become better. Thank you very much. Prabhupada ki. Bhaktavinda ki. You can ask the mic, yeah, take this. No, take this.
You were saying uplift, that there are uplifting, there are non-uplifting. So uplifting,
we have both types of people. Both types of people are there. Yeah.
So uplifting means to bring out the change.
Bring out the change. Correct. And for that we can give correction also, we can give.
Yes.
No problem. Provided we make the person a better person.
So, but like there may be difference of platform, or like someone at we may be in a mental platform, then we are not able to conceive from the feedback givers point of view is how to bring out the change. We may not be able to recognize.
Okay.
Then we may not be able to take that in positive way.
Okay.
So how to do
that? Okay. Say somebody is giving a feedback to me, and I may go to the mental platform and get hurt. Oh, he is saying fault in me. His intention is not good.
His intention is to bring change.
His intention may be to bring change in me, but I may not be able to take it well. Correct, no?
Yeah, we are not able to see how that change will come from our end. But he is seeing that clearly. Okay.
One simple thing I'll tell you, that when we deal with our superiors, we can assume in general that my superiors are my well-wishers, like mother, father, teacher, our Shiksha Gurus, our mentors. We can assume that whatever they are saying is for my good. And if they are telling me, don't do this, then I don't do this and I do that. Eventually things will come out good. Like for example, there are two devotees working in one department. And one A and B is working. And A went to the HOD and said, Prabhu, as long as B is here, I cannot work. Then I am going to leave this department and go to another department. And what A is saying, see, you do organization well, and the B is very good in, speaking. So you both have two different talents and you're complementing each other. So I want you to continue. Although there is a little friction between the two, you smoothen the relationship and go on. HOD is asking. Correct, no? Now you have two choices. Either to obey what he says and go on. Because A and B together are doing something wonderful. Powerful thing is coming up by A and B. But if A feels ego problem, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Now A feels ego problem with B. And when A cuts off from B, and goes to some other department. Then A finds that 1, 2, 3 years have passed, he couldn't do anything great. And B also is helpless without, like for example, is manager important or secretary important? Who is important? Huh? Manager. He is saying manager. Let us see. How many of you say manager is important? Okay. How many of you say secretary is important? Huh? Yeah, they do their, each of them, they do their work. Is it not true? Huh? Secretary will do secretarial work. But if they do separate, by that who suffers? The team suffers. Manager without secretary job, he has to do secretary job also. It's very tough for him. Similar husband and wife also. Wife cooks, husband brings money. But if husband is beating the wife, then wife goes to her mother's home. Then the husband has to cook himself. Then he realizes, my Lord, cooking 2 times, 3 times a day is not an easy thing. Then he's phone calling, asking wife to come back. She says, why should I come? You are beating me. Understand, no? So it's a team effort. Krishna has created this world in a symbiotic way. So if HOD is telling me that tolerate and go on, that is for my good. We shouldn't think that why is he pushing me to continue with this D? I don't feel like working with him. So in the same manner, what I am saying is if our seniors with good intention is saying something which we cannot see. He can see, I can't see. Still I should follow. By following it, eventually things will come out good. Because they are like a helicopter from the top they are seeing. I am like a car. Say, two armies are fighting. You know, you are in one tanker here, they are in another tanker. You can't see everything. But a person in a plane from the top can see better picture. Correct, no? Because he is detached, he is aloof from the situation. So he is seeing better. And that kind of trust in the superior will ultimately bring out things good. And if the superior sees that relationship between A and B is not getting better even after 2-3 years, then he will substitute A with somebody and he will put A in some other service. So why I am giving this example? Because in this world, we have to trust somebody. Whom are you going to? Am I going to trust only my own mind? Whom am I going to trust? If I trust my mind, I will be doomed. Arana ko dikho mane asha. So we need a superior. Somebody is asking, Prabhuji, my immediate superior may not be beyond 3 gunas. He may also have some motivations. So therefore, I can't trust him. And I trust my spiritual master, but he cannot direct me directly. He is far away. Then whom are you trusting? Most famous four-letter person. That is our own mind only. So therefore, what I would say is, your superior may be still in 3 gunas, but he is slightly above you at least. By the time you follow him and come here, he will go up. He will keep going up. Follow the immediate superior. In case immediate superior one is not able to follow due to some reason, then one can go to superior. Like that. Is that all right? Thank you. Yeah? You could not? Yeah. That's right. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.